I did it. I finally listened to your advice and I spoke to Mr. Tyler Perry. Okay, let me tell you what had happened. So I was in the mall with a friend and we were just walking around and we noticed a stage and we saw Tyler Perry on that stage, and he seemed to be overseeing the construction of a project he was working on. But he was also front facing so that fans and people passing by could speak to him and greet him, and he would have conversations with them. So my friend said, you know what, I'm gonna go speak to him. And I hung back. So I was a little shy or whatever. Then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna speak to him too. Then I looked down and saw that I wasn't properly dressed. In fact, I wasn't dressed at all. So I saw a robe laying nearby and I grabbed that, put that on. And then I realized my wig wasn't on my head. I'm looking like Miss Seeley right about now. But there was a hat. I grabbed it, put it on, kept it moving. Right before I was getting ready to climb up the steps, there was a crowd of people that bum rushed past me to get to him. I said, okay, I'm gonna calm down and relax. He took the time to speak to each of them. And finally, when the crowd cleared, I walked up to him and I said, Mr. Q. He looked at me and I said, I'm sorry. As you can tell, I'm very nervous. Mr. Perry. And I proceeded to tell him about myself, how I'm an actress and I get called in to audition for his projects very often. And I just wanted to introduce myself to him. And he looked at me, he said, why do you want to work in Atlanta? And I said, to be honest, sir, New York is dead. And my brother owns a house in Atlanta. It's nothing for me to get there and do some work. And I was if that was the spark. And he turned to the right. He waved over to a young woman to come towards us. And as she was walking, she saw me. She recognized me. She said, Candace, right? I said, yeah. And I just figured that she was a casting assistant who had seen the countless submissions that my agents have put through on my behalf for his projects. And it just felt really good for a casting assistant to recognize me. And that was it. Because it was all a dream. But who knows? It could happen. In the meanwhile, I promise to keep dreaming.